Hi there, this is Peter Hellier with the review of the One Way UK Daily Devotionals for the week 15th to the 19th of August. And we're looking in chapter 8 of John, and we've got this little series going on called Jesus is Available. First one on Monday was Jesus is available for forgiveness, not condemnation. We found out that condemnation is described as censure or blame. It's the act of judicially convicting someone or the state of being condemned. And by contrast, forgiveness is the act of forgiving or the state of being forgiven or pardoned. And to forgive is to feel, is to cease to feel rather, resentment towards, for example, somebody who is an enemy. So, if you want to know, have I really forgiven Auntie Flo for what she called me at the Christmas party? Well, if you don't feel any resentment for her, then you do. You've truly forgiven her. On Tuesday we saw that Jesus is available for illumination. We talked about him being the light of the world. We talked about him as being the one that those who follow him shall not walk in darkness but have the light of life. Jesus illuminates everything. Great thing is, Jesus can illuminate the worst thing about our lives and yet, of course, give us a way to change, give us a way to put that aside, to turn over a new leaf, to go forward renewed. There's always hope with Jesus. Always, always, always. No matter how desperate the situation, whether it's medical, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's relational, whatever it is, there is always hope with Jesus. There's that saying, isn't there, about it's not over till the fat lady sings. With Jesus, it's never over because there is always hope. So that's cool. On Wednesday we saw that Jesus is available for direction, and that's so important because one of the big questions of life is, what am I here for? What am I doing? What am I here for? What's my purpose? What's my being? Why is there a world? Why is there me in the world? Jesus can answer those questions for us. He can give us a sense of destiny. We all have a destiny, but Jesus can give us a sense of destiny, a sense of, hey, this is the direction I'm going in. This is what I'm called to do. This is the real me. That's really cool. Jesus on Thursday, if you know Jesus, then you know God, and God is in control. And it's one of the, I just think it's just one of the most fantastic things. Because we read a passage in which it had this very simple phrase concerning Jesus. No one laid hands on him, for his hour had not yet come. In other words, people couldn't arrest Jesus, they couldn't kill Jesus until the fullness of God's time has come, because it wasn't the devil in control, it wasn't the crowds in control, it wasn't the Roman authorities in control, it was God. He was in control. Now, just as he was in control of Jesus' life at every stage, in his birth, his development as a child, his ministry, and his passion, his arrest, his trial, his beating, his crucifixion, his resurrection, all these things, his establishment of the church as his body here on earth, all of these things were in God's control. Your life, my life, is in God's control. Okay, at times it may not seem like it, but he is. If we open up our lives to him, he is in control. Don't miss out on next Monday's devotional. Very, very important. Because it's a good news and it offsets the bad news. And the bad news that we had on Friday, it is very possible for people to die in their sins. How do we know? because Jesus said that people could do that. But we must remember to whom Jesus was speaking. His audience was made up of Pharisees and others, many of whom were hostile to Jesus. They not only didn't believe in him, but derided those who did. Once again, we're faced with the uniqueness of Jesus this week. What we believe about him not only determines how we live now, but how we will get along eternally. We all need to recognise that nobody can afford to ignore Jesus. Now, I understand that the weather forecast is good for this weekend, so have a wonderful time, won't you? And I look forward to being with you next week.